Namaste, friends. It's good to see you today. Today is Saturday, August 13th, 2022. I know I'm not coming to you from one of my favorite natural spaces. I'm actually coming to you from my, guess it's my office. It's kind of it's my everything room. It's my space. This is where I'm sitting at my desk. This is where I do my work, and this is where I do my workouts. And, when I'm not working, all of my work equipment is kind of tucked away, and I can sit here and write my journal or, look at YouTube on my computer or whatever it is I feel like doing. But I'm coming to you from here today because I did a hard bike ride last night and I enjoyed it, and then I went dancing and that was a lot of fun. And so this morning I said I'm going to take it easy. We are actually having this amazing morning. It's like 60 degrees in August and breezy and sunny, and it's perfect. And I've been outside. I have my coffee outside on the porch. I've been outside all morning and kind of doing a little weeding of the garden. But I'm not taking a walk down the park or anything this morning because I am getting myself ready to leave. I'm going to make a drive to see my daughter. Her 30th birthday is on Tuesday, and sadly I won't see her. She's still in Pennsylvania, but by October she'll be back home. Not in my house, but she'll be moving back to Maryland, which is home for her. Home for us, having my family all back in the same area again. So I'm excited about that. But today I'm going up there and I'm going to take her. We're going to do a couple things. We're going to go shopping and we're going to have lunch, and she's going to get her hair done. And then her husband is taking her out to dinner. My daughter, of all things, she loves fondue. So they're going out for a fondue dinner. It's like several courses. Basically, it's a big bucket of melted cheese that they dip bread things in, and then they dip fruit and chocolate, I guess, for dessert. But I get to stay with my little grandbabies, and I'm so excited. So I'm babysitting, so I'll be up there in Pennsylvania. I'm going to leave here in a little while. But I did want to check in. I've actually had kind of a big week. Making some big mental shifts. And honestly, I'm kind of proud of myself right now. It's hard to say. This happens over the course of 1 week. Is this a paradigm shift? Is it going to last? I don't know, but I'm appreciative that I have had this shift this week. As I've mentioned, I've been seeking a new job, and last we spoke, we had a contract in on a house that really was a nice place for us, and unfortunately it was contingent upon inspections, and my husband, who is a builder, and he knows this stuff, and him and his best friend, who is an actual inspector, and another friend of his, these are people that this is their trade. They did the inspection, and upon further inspection, we discovered this house is just covered in mold, and we'd have to rip out all the walls and everything in the finished basement for mold mitigation, and there's just too many things. So unfortunately, we, that was a deal breaker in the contract because it didn't pass the inspection. Mold is a pretty big deal. So I grieved. I actually found out Monday while I was working, and I just had to step back and just cry. I think I put a lot of emotion, a lot of hope into that, and I was crushed. It's been hard, the things I've been going through, between having all the moves and having to leave Baltimore so quickly, and trying to settle into a rental property, knowing that it's very temporary. It's been hard, to say the least. But and trying to find a house in this housing market has really been, it's been crazy. And of course, I've been trying to find a new job. So I'm going to tie up all these loose ends and make sense of all of why I'm putting all this together. But to discuss this shift that I've made, and that, this is something I want to address, because I know I'm not the only person that experiences this, is that often I invest myself emotionally maybe where I shouldn't. It's hard not to. I know that I've mentioned in past vlogs about how some people say, well, if you don't have any expectations, you'll never be disappointed, which is true, but it's kind of sad. You really want to have expectations. You want to look forward to things. You want to dream. And I think that's so important. And I think I did overly invest myself in this house. And I also, in that same vein, I've also overly invested myself in trying to move on to a different, it's not an entirely different career. I like working in K-12 education, and I'm working in K-12 right now, but I work mostly with parents and families. I work with parents. And the idea of working with the kiddos, the students, I just want to work with the kids. So I've been trying to get into the local public school system for a while, and I've gotten nowhere with it. I have had resume on file, all of that stuff, and I did go on a fluke to a job fair. I think it was 2 weeks ago, or it was July 30th. And well, long story short, I did get a recommendation for a position at a school, and I was blown away by the assistant principal and the conversations we had, and I'm really excited. So she put in the recommendation. We got everything, all the bits and pieces together, and I got the offer sent to me yesterday, the final offer from the public school system, big, serious document, and everything, and I knew I had the job, and they told me they were putting together an offer. They told me, to expect the offer by the end of the week, and it's been very anxious. I've been very anxious about it, and even anxious about having to leave my current job, thinking, how am I going to do this? And how am I going to, I don't want to leave my job without notice. That's not me. And, I was worried about the first day of school is quickly approaching. Well, long and short, I got the offer yesterday. It was before lunch, and I saw it come into my email, and I was very excited, but I didn't check it right away because I was very busy. I was actually very busy working. So when I had a chance a little later in the afternoon, I pulled up the offer and reviewed it, and I cannot afford to accept that offer. The money difference is just too great to do it, and very disappointed. The job would put me in a situation working with kids, mostly special ed, in that school. Well, actually, all special ed kids in that school, and I thought it would be challenging, and I thought that I had a lot to offer, and that I could do some good, and in return, just being around, the kids and being able to be a part of that, it really excited me. And I won't lie, the 10-month schedule of having summers off and holidays, oh wow, sorry, bumped into my desk, that was my knee. But having, the holidays off and having the summers off also appealed to me. And I knew that I'd have to take a financial hit to some degree, going from a full-time 12-month position down to a 10-month position. Obviously, you're going to have to take some kind of hit. But the hit that I would take was, it really was jarring, and it knocked a little bit of reality into me. And I think that was, yesterday was when everything started to fall into place for me. Sometimes you do have to be careful of what you wish for. Sometimes you do really see something that you want and you work towards it. And I feel grateful, excited that I got the offer. This is, after 3 years of a job hunt, I actually got the offer. I got the job. And now I'm in a position where I have to turn the offer down. And it does. It makes me very sad. This is something that I wanted and I worked for and I got it. And I just cannot make it work. I need to make money. There's no doubt about that. We all need to make money. You know, I am married now. I mean, I'm not alone anymore. And that's a comforting thought. But I have to make my money. I have to keep my, I don't know what the word is. There's a part of me that wants to use the word power. After my marriage and not being financially secure and having raised children, you know, when I was going through my divorce, I had been a stay-at-home mother basically for 15 years. And it was horrible. It was horrible to be absolutely destitute upon leaving my marriage. The only thing that got me through it, of course, was taking care of my children. But financially, I hit rock bottom. I was extremely damaged financially. I mean, I was completely wiped out, completely damaged. And if it wasn't for the love of my family and people around me, I would have been completely destitute. I did have to live with my mother. It was interesting. I lived with my mother and was able to be at the house with my children because I was only about 2 miles away. So when, you know, there was a period where I had to be there, but because I always had to be over there at the house for the kids. So when my ex-husband, you know, when we were going through this divorce, he would go to work, I'd go to the house, I'd be with the kids all day and take care of everything. And, you know, and then, you know, when he moved out, you know, it was really good living in my house with my kids without my husband, but that's another story. But it broke me. I was destitute for years. And I really didn't start getting settled until, actually it was 2019 when I got this job that I currently have and bought my condo. So for the past 3 years, I have worked very hard to be self-sufficient, to be financially independent, and I don't want to give it up. I mean, I am married, and I did get married because, well, I love my husband, of course, and I don't think there would be any other better companion in the world for me. He's a wonderful companion, and I knew I got married when I did because I knew if I didn't marry him, I would lose him. And that would have been fair and right because he needed more. And so we got married. And as you know, just things have been just crazy. So I'm not ready to sacrifice my independence financially at this point in my life. And so my job is important to me, and I don't have the luxury, or I should say, I cannot indulge in the luxury of taking that job as much as I desired it, as much as I wanted it. I cannot indulge myself in that because it would remove my my strength and power in this relationship with my husband. I think that's one thing that's very, very, very different in my second marriage is that I have power in this marriage. I have a partnership in this marriage. I loved my first husband. I loved him to the moon, of course. And we were an excellent team for a long time. And we were definitely partners and we had each other's backs and everything. But man, oh man, when things went bad, they went really, really bad. And I was so beaten down. I just didn't feel like I could offer myself as a worthy equal in a relationship. And I think that the financial aspect of that was very important for me to be an equal. And it took a long time for me to reach that with my husband now, because we dated for 8 years. I needed that space. I needed to have that power. So when I talk about this shift that I've made, the investment in myself, and to not allow myself to get too emotionally caught up in things like the job I have, or, wanting that certain particular house. I got overly emotional in it. And my husband always says it's hard to look at houses with me because I get very emotionally invested in it. So I learned after losing that house, and then, in 1 week, we lost that house, and I had to turn down the job that I wanted and worked for. And accept the fact that I'm going to stay where I am, and damn it, I'm going to be good at it, and I'm going to like it, and I'm going to move on in my chosen workplace. All along, I figured I'd probably be there for at least until I retire, the next 10 years or however long. So I think this week has been a big deal in acceptance, a big deal in realizing that I have to step back from my emotions sometimes. I can't be overly invested in that job that I wanted so badly, or in that house that I wanted so badly. Because in 1 week, they both, things just came to light, and I lost the house. I cried it out and said, darn, that's silly. Why are you crying over this? This is stupid. And I know that it must be emotional. I kind of just sent a group text to my kids to let them know it fell through, and they responded. But my son, God love him, my oldest son, he called me. He's like, Mom, I know you're upset. And he called me just so he could listen to me and let me know it's okay for me to be emotional about it. And God, that kid, I sometimes think about my kids and I think, God, I did something right. And then having this job come through yesterday, and knowing I haven't officially, turned down the offer. I have until the 17th. But I'm going to Monday morning. I'm going to, let them know I'm not going to take the offer. So I think both of those things hitting in 1 week has been a big deal. I have to check my emotions. I have to understand that there are so many things in life that, yes, invest your emotions. Invest your emotions in the love of your family and your friends and your spouse, and your passions for your activities and your jobs and your hobbies, and all of these things. They're so worthy of emotional investment. But things like a job that may or may not happen, or a contract on a house that may or may not go through, these are not things that you can invest your emotions in. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. You just have to let these things come and then let them go, because that's life as we know it. And I just found myself, I don't know how I put myself in that position. Plus with my newfound not ranting, working on the not ranting. And I think it's helping. I think it really helped pull me out of my head this week. And to finish this long video, I do want to say that we've put in a contract on another house this weekend, and then of course, the market the way it is, they're going to review them and choose a contract to accept on Monday, Monday the 15th. So I'll know, and I think I'm in a good place mentally with it. This house is more than I ever thought I'd get. I can't believe we found it. But I'm glad that we found it. I'm glad we put the offer in. If it doesn't happen, we'll find another one. I know we will. Although, honestly, we are already thinking of the way we're going to renovate the kitchen. But I'm not overly emotionally invested. It's not going to break me. Thank you for listening to me. And I hope that if anything out of this, discussing emotional involvement, I hope it helps somebody, and it definitely helped me to talk about it. And thank you for coming into my little workspace with me today in my office. And I'm going to go out and get some more fresh air. I have the window open and the fresh air is blowing over me. And I wish for you to enjoy and find grace in your appreciation and in your life today. Thank you so much. Peace.